Hey, welcome back, everybody. Been a long minute, hasn't it? Hey, welcome back, Dave. Yeah, I've been gone for a while. A lot of things going on. I'm not going to bother you with any of that. Today's session, by the way, will be on how to use the real book. Proper use of the real book. I'll grab my pencil. Here's a real book. All right, here's your E flat real book. Those of you who have a real book, go grab it now. But first, I got some major news here. I've got a big announcement to make to all of you here. While you get your real book, get it on your stand, get your horns out too, because this will be a little bit of a play along exercise. How to use the real book coming up. But first, I want to tell you that, the backstory is I used to host a jam back in the day, the days before COVID. I used to host a jazz jam at a pretty funky and awesome and music-centric coffee shop called Java Joe's. All right, Java Joe's. And I hosted a jazz jam for intermediate and advanced players, and we held that on Sunday afternoons. And did that for, my gosh, maybe a little bit more than a year, right? And marvelous, marvelous players, just good times. Almost every Sunday. It was just a wonderful day. The backstory is that I was studying with the legendary sax man Joe Murillo at that point in time. And Joe was in declining health. He was in advanced. He was really into his 80s at that point, and his health was failing. But he still wanted to get out and play. He still had his chops. He could really blow. And the location of Java Joe's was fairly adjacent to Joe Murillo's house. So it was easy to get him, schlep him over to Java Joe's, and he would see all these people and just feel good and play jazz and have a good afternoon. And I love that, right? I love Joe. And so we eventually closed it down. COVID came along, closed a lot of things down. Just the other day, I'm driving and I'm thinking, you got to start this back up again. Now, I don't know how these thoughts happen. I don't know where they come from. I have no clue. Maybe you do. I don't. But I have this thought. And the thought said, don't sleep on this. Go do it now. On the way home is a coffee shop called the Space Bar. As in like your computer keypad has a space bar. It's kind of a computer sort of coffee shop place. All ages. And I went inside, the owner was there, and he took a minute out of his really busy schedule to talk to me and say, yeah, let's do this. I explained the whole concept to him, and he said, good, when can you start? And I said, how about the 11th of October? So that's where we're going to be. Excuse me, I'm blocking a sneeze. We had rain all day here. Rain, yeah, September and rain. Go figure. The weather it is no longer normal. Anyway, the Space Bar, I'll put the address, and if you're in Southern California, if you're near, I would love to meet you in person, have you come by, sit in, and bring your horn, all right? That'll be the 11th of October, a couple of weeks, and I will keep you posted as to how this progresses along. Joe has, of course, passed away, but we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the band up, do a set, and then invite intermediate and advanced players to come up and do a song with us. All right? All right. I couldn't be happier that this came together. I mean, I'm telling you, I had the idea Monday. I stop at the coffee shop on the way home. Guy says yes. I don't have a band at this point, by the way. By Wednesday, I got a band. And the people who have agreed to play are stellar. We've got Dwight Love on guitar. We've got Hindy Bare on keyboards. We've got Jim Hibert on bass. We've got a vocalist. And we've got a marvelous drummer. Oh my gosh. So I just couldn't be more stoked. Stoked? Is that a word? Yeah, stoked. I couldn't be more stoked. So anyway, grab your real books now. Here's mine. I got the E flat real book out. And you can see that I've had to, basically duct tape it all back together again. It's fallen apart. They do that. I've had this book now for years, and it's gotten pretty torn up. It's gone to a lot of shows with me. Set it up on your stand and grab your horn. Why don't you open up to page 52? 52. And that's a simple blues called Blue Monk. Blue Monk, okay? I'll talk about how to use the real book properly. Now, I want to explain to you that rhythm is one of the hardest things that I have to teach here in the studio, especially to adult students who are coming back after a long time of inactivity with the horn. Maybe they played, and the last time they touched their horn was high school concert band or college marching band or concert band or something like that. And if any of us started in the fourth grade, it's been ingrained in our music persona is to tap that foot. Hear my foot? Yeah, tapping that foot, right? You follow the built-in metronome, you tap your foot, and you use that to keep time. We all understand, of course, that a beat is not just, it's one and downbeat and upbeat. That's one whole beat, all right? It's a cycle of a downbeat and an upbeat. But rhythm, really, we start to get into a little bit of trouble with our students when they take a look at these charts in the real book and they start to want to learn and venture into blues and jazz, right? And they're looking at this music and they're looking at this the way they might have looked at some marching band music or some concert band music years ago. And they're trusting the sheet. Now, that's what you had to do in marching band and concert band. You trusted the sheet. You trusted the sheet to start, to stop, the breaks, everything. You had a conductor standing up front. You had people sitting next to you, all around you, in front of you, behind you. They all trusted the sheet as well. Well, that worked then. It's not going to work now. To get a little sense of rhythm into this music, I want you to understand that the real book is really, and the fake book, and a lot of the other books too, 101 Jazz Songs for Saxophone. All those books are really the paint by numbers version. They are the outline, the rough sketch, right? We have to supply the rhythm. Otherwise, it's going to sound like this. Here's Blue Monk. Check it out. Marching band, right? Doesn't sound like blues or jazz, does it? Sounds like marching band, but that's what the page says to do, Dave. Yeah, I know it, and it's so hard to shake that loose. So what I want you to do is stop counting. Don't use your metronome, don't use your feet, don't use your feet, nothing. Stop all of the tools that you used before to keep time in those other environments, okay? Stop that because it's messing with your head. What I want you to do instead is you've got two great teachers attached to your head, ears. You got a couple of ears here, right? I want you to use those instead. Grab your ears, and I want you to go on YouTube. And anytime now that you're inside your real book, I want you to look up the song. Find somebody that's doing the song. I don't care what version, Thelonious Monk, I don't care whose version of Blue Monk that you use, but I want you to listen to it, and I want you to watch, track along, keep your place on the chart, and watch and see how the master approaches and supplies, or at least infuses this song. Yeah, it's a better word, infuse, not supply. How this song is infused with that sense of rhythm. Rhythm is not a thing, and honestly, I've been at this for 6 or 7 years, and I've tried to teach rhythm. I've had all kinds of little, rhythm exercises and on and on and on and on. I don't think you're born with it, but I do think you acquire it by listening to lots and lots of music. And that's one of the gifts that we had, in my house. When I was a kid, my parents played lots of records. Lots and lots of records. Had music going all the time. So, I do believe that I got a sense of how, music moves, how chords, resolve, and rhythm from listening to that music ever since I was a little fella, right? You'll get that too. If you don't have it now, you will get it. There will be a breakthrough moment for you, but again, suspend your sense of disbelief that this page is the law. And listen to how it's played by someone who has that innate sense of rhythm and is infusing rhythm into this chart. And you'll start to play it a little, just with a little more swing, a little more stank, if you will. All right. You had to suspend your sense of, that the chart is right. No, the chart is just the outline. It's just telling you what the notes are. It's not giving you a sense of rhythm at all. That's going to come from learning. You got to do this. You got to dial up. You got to listen to stuff. And I don't want you to, take on any music at all without listening to it first. All right? You with me on this? Okay. Hey, come back next week and let's do a lesson on how to maximize your practice time. I want to talk to you about that next week. I've got some thoughts about that, about how to, at least how to help yourself in practice. I have a lot of students who, do practice or spend time with their horns and maybe aren't getting where they want to go. So we'll talk about that next week, okay? All right. Again, we got the band back together. First date is October 11, coming up in a few weeks here. Again, the address will be below. If you got any questions, any issues, any ideas or comments, this is your channel. And I'm so grateful to all of those of you who have written in with comments, busted me on stuff. You've actually taken me down a peg on some things. I appreciate your comments, your support. I appreciate when you call me out or you tell me, hey, do this or do that or try, or ideas. When you come up with ideas for future shows or questions that you have that you want answered. Hey, reach out to me, davegoodsax@gmail.com. davegoodsax@gmail.com. And I will get back to you. I appreciate you all so much. All right. What a cool thing that we get to do here. Every day I wake up and I think, there are more comments in the comment boxes or emails from people, and you guys are spread out across the globe. Very cool. I'm enjoying this very much, and I hope you are too. I hope this is helping you. If it is, hit that subscribe button and hit that love button too. Apparently that helps me with the YouTube, the brass at YouTube. I have no idea how, just whatever, This is all a very DIY channel. We're sitting here in my house, and I want you all to thank the dogs for not barking during this session. Anyway, work on rhythm. Again, remember that the page is just an outline. You get a sense of rhythm. Rhythm grows within from learning. You're not born with it. It's not something you naturally have. You get that by listening to music, listening to rhythmic things, and copying it, okay? You can do this. I have 100% confidence in you. All right, see you again next week. Thanks for being here.